Good morning, everybody. My name is Lori. This is Lolly Joe, Budget and Debt Payoff Journey. I hope that you are all having a fantastic day today. And today is January 9th, 2026, my second cash stuffing of the year. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I do, and I apologize for saying so many times. Okay, so I put a $20 bill in the $200 challenge. I put a 1, a 5, and a 10, and a 2. 1, 2, 5, and 10 in each of those challenges. I put a dollar bill in each one of my envelopes. And last week I started a new challenge, which is saving the amount per week of the date of a week. So today's the 9th, so I'm saving $9. And the goal is to save up enough money to pay most of my HOA dues for 2027. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So this one is for extra debt payment. Last week I took out the $200 I had in here, and I paid $200 towards my Fidelity credit card. I'm going to move this a little bit closer. There we are. Now you can see it. Okay. I hope you guys had a fantastic week. I had a good week. It was really busy at work, and we're getting ready for an outage coming up, and so there's a lot of prep work. When I say we're getting ready for an outage, what I'm talking about is we shut down the power plant to do refueling and maintenance, and that's coming up, so we got a lot of work to do to get ready for that. So now I shall have $11. Shall I count it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is going to be right. I feel really motivated for this challenge because I really don't like not having the money ready to go. I don't like cash flowing it for my HOA dues. So there's a story I've wanted to tell you guys for some time, and every time I try to tell the story I kind of mess it up, so then I don't tell you. So last year in July, somebody's doctor, not mine, somebody's hospital / doctor service, provider, mistakenly filed a claim against my health insurance, and they kept doing it since then. And thankfully I noticed it, and I got my health insurance company involved, obviously, and we did file a fraud claim, and the money, well, the claims were reversed because they were approved, right? And then my insurance company did whatever it is they do and had it reversed, but the hospital and doctors that this person has been going to just kept resubmitting them. So since last year, since September of last year, they have resubmitted the same claims over and over again. So they resubmit the claims, my insurance company reverses them or denies them, and then they just resubmit them again. And they've done it several times, 4 or 5 times. And so yesterday, I mean, I was at the end of my rope. It's really causing me a lot of anxiety and just irritation, and it's just fear. I know it's not reasonable, since thankfully my insurance company has been really good about reversing the charges, and they're not holding it against me, right? Thank God, really. But they did it again on January 7th. All of the claims that had been denied were resubmitted on January 7th. And when you add up all the claims, they're just most of them are repeat claims, right? But you add up the numbers, the dollar amount of all the claims they've submitted, it's over $100,000. It's like $117,000. The actual amount, because like I said, they just repeat, is about, I don't know, 20,000 or something, 25, something like that. I keep wanting to add it up, but I don't want to add it up. The individual claims, I mean. So yesterday I was kind of at the end of my rope a little bit, and I was like, I'm either going to have to cancel my insurance, which I'd actually asked about. I'd asked if I could just cancel my insurance and give me a brand new policy. You know what I mean? And they just a new account number or something. And my health insurance company told me no. And then I thought, well, maybe if I called my employer, maybe they would have some kind of impact. I don't know. It's on my list. I thought about filing a police report. I mean, that's what I had to do when my identity was stolen last year. And I wondered if it was related, you know, because they happened like within a month of each other, maybe 2 months. And when I first called them, I was like, my identity was stolen a month or so ago. And they assured me that this is completely separate. This is different. What they told me was that it's not the person, it's not the individual who's getting treatment, it's the hospital or the doctor's office that are submitting under the wrong insurance. So I said, okay, fine. Thank God they were able to kind of handle it, right? But it keeps happening. Yeah, and I'm just like, they're not going to stop. So I thought maybe I'd just change my name. I changed my name, right? I can't change my birthday, but I can change my name. So I'm not sure how doctor offices do billing, but my guess is they type in the person's birthday who has the same birth date as me, and they have the same name as me, except for our middle names are different. So I must be the first one that comes up on the list, and I don't know why, because I've never been to these doctors before. And so I decided to call them. My insurance company told me before not to call them, to let them handle it. And I decided at this point, have really nothing to lose. And so I called them. I called them up. And basically, they all said, everybody I talked to said that they would do a investigation, is what they said. But when I called them and they answered the phone and they're like, and I said, because what did you call, and you got to push 1 for appointments and 2 for whatever, and 3. You got to push a button, right? So I pushed the button that got me to billing and insurance. And I actually, this is going to blow your mind. The first person I called, they all want to verify my identity, right? So they're like, what's your name? And I tell them my name, which of course is a name that they have in their system. and they ask me for my birthday, and I give them my birthday, which goes with the name that they have in their system. Then they want to verify my address, and I tell them, I don't give them my full address. I just tell them my city and state, and they're like, wait, what? Because obviously it doesn't match, right? And so, I keep saying so. I explained to them the situation. I said, this individual is your patient, but you guys have been charging my insurance. And, you know, they asked for date of service, which of course I can tell them, right? One person, I actually have their patient number because it's on my explanation of benefits. And the very first person I spoke to started giving me this other individual's address. Like they were just, you know, they ask you to verify your address, right? And they started giving me, they're like, do you still live at, and they started the name of the address. And no, I interrupted her. I said, no, I don't live there, this is where I live. Gave her the city and state, not the, but, so once I explained the situation to them, they were, can you hold please? So they came back after having me on hold, and it was like, oh yeah, we'll start an investigation because this is clearly not correct. And I did that for everybody, all of the doctor's offices, all of the hospitals yesterday. And one of them, nobody really, they said they would take care of it. Basically, at the end of the day, they all said they would take care of it. So hopefully they will, and hopefully this will stop. And then I called my insurance company again to tell them that these charges had been paid by my health insurance company, and I had called the providers to tell them that they're sending their bills to the wrong person, and I've been doing that for months. Well, this is the first time I've called the providers. Whew, it's been very stressful. But I think I'm going to change my name. I have actually met in real life a person with my same name, but our birthdays were different by 1 year. So we had the same first, middle, and last name, but our birthdays were in the same birth date, but the year was different. So now, and I know that there are other people in the world with my name, right? At least the first and last name, and but this is kind of a weird situation where we have the same birth date, including year, same first and last name. Anyway, I asked my insurance company if this is like a normal thing. Do they encounter this very often? And she told me that they don't, that this is highly unusual. So it's very strange that when the person went to the doctor, did they not give them their card? You know, they must have an insurance card, right? I don't know, but it's disgusting. So many doctors, there's 2 separate hospitals, and I don't even know how many doctors. And how could they screw it up? I think that once they get your insurance information on record, that's it. I don't think they go back and double check it. And the thing is my health insurance company had called them and talked to them. And it had been resolved as far as we could tell. But they kept resubmitting the claims over and over again. We got fraud, like claim numbers. Like we filed a fraud report. Didn't do anything. So, anyway, that's my story for today. I hope it never happens to you. Okay, so this past weekend I sold a workbench, and I sold it for $70. So I'm taking 60 of it, and I'm going to put it in my 401k loan envelope. And I took the other $10 and I put it in the snack locker at work for snacks. So now I have in my 401k loan extra payment. I have 20, 40, 60, 65, 70, 75, 76, 77, 78. Okay. Have you guys ever had a situation like that where you had somebody with your same name? Same birthday too? I guess my name is very common. I want to change it. I love my name, but I can't handle this. It's too much for my simple brain. I'm not even reading my titles. Oh my gosh, I'm dropping the ball. I hope my story time makes up for it. I was thinking about filing a police report for real. So, if they don't stop, like if this keeps happening, I feel like a police report might be justified. I don't know. I'm just thinking. Thinking about calling my lawyer. I have the lawyer who did my estate plan a few years ago. I could call him and ask him what he thinks. And I'm thinking about changing my name because I'm serious about it. Because I just can't. Yep, I think I've been keeping track of everything, but it's so discouraging. I've been keeping track of stuff, but not really great, not really well, because everything's on the website, so I don't really need to create like a separate document for myself, because everything's on the website. But yeah, I started a spreadsheet, and I'm printing out all of these claims. I'm going to print them all out, create a spreadsheet, and if it keeps happening, I'm going to take the documentation that I've created, the explanation of benefits, the claims, my spreadsheet, my story. I'm at least going to be calling my employer to tell them that this is going on, right? I don't know if they care, but I feel like somebody's got to care. Somebody's got to be able to fix this situation. Thought about calling the police, filing a police report, calling my lawyer, finding out if there's something that I should do or, about the whole thing, if anything, and changing my name. I mean, that's just what I think. Okay, now either I missed one or I have an extra. Okay, that's it for my weekly cash stuffing. Thank you very much for joining me and listening to my story. Please tell me if this ever happened to you. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.